Hey Nines, I've had a request for application question number 4. So the width of a rectangle is 4 times larger than its length. The perimeter of a rectangle is 85 centimeters. Determine the dimensions of the rectangle. So again, let's take a look at the question. So the question says determine the dimensions of the rectangle. And we know that dimensions are length and width when we're dealing with a rectangle. So we're going to let x represent the width of the rectangle. And let x represent the width. And it's measured in centimeters, so in centimeters. And we're going to let y represent the length. And again in centimeters. So now we need to look for the rest of the information in the question. So it says you must solve a system for full marks. So we all know a system is 2 equations. So we know that the perimeter of a rectangle is 85 centimeters. And we know that the formula for the perimeter, if we think of I'm just going to draw that over here. If we think of a rectangle, we know that perimeter is equal to 2 of the lengths of the sides plus the 2 widths of the sides. So in this case, our perimeter is 85. So we know, so let's just do this. We know that 85 is equal to 2 times the length. So the length is y plus 2 times the width. And the width in this case is x. So that's our first equation sorted. So the next thing we need to do then is see if there's any other information in the question. Well, there is. It says the width of a rectangle is 4 times larger than its length. So we take the question at face value. So now we set up the second equation. So we know that the width is represented by x. So x is equal to 4 times larger, so it's a multiplication because of the times, than its length. So 4 times the length, and in this case the length is y. So now we have our two equations set up. So now we can actually start to solve. Now what's really nice about this question is that we already have x in terms of something. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use this equation here. I know that x and 4y are the exact same thing, so I'm going to replace x in this equation with 4y. So let's take a look at number 1 again. So I'm going to do 85 is equal to 2y plus, I'm just going to rewrite it, 2x. And now I know that 85 is equal to 2y plus 2. And x, well, from equation number 2, I know that x and 4y are the exact same thing. And I know that at the point of intersection, the x in this equation is going to be exactly the same as the x in this equation at that point of intersection. So now I know that 85 is equal to 2y, and 2 times 4y is 8y. So 85 is equal to 10y, and now I'm going to divide both sides by 10. And so I know that 8.5 is equal to y. So now, at the point of intersection, both of these equations are going to have the exact same y value, right? So it doesn't matter which one I use. So I'm going to just use equation number 2 because it's easier to do the math on. And I know that x is equal to 4y. Well, in this case, y is 8.5. So then I know that x is going to equal 4 times 5 is 20, and 4 times 8 is 32. 32 plus 2 is 34 centimeters. So at this point, I know the dimensions of the rectangle, and so I can say, therefore, the width of the rectangle is 34 centimeters, and the length is 8.5 centimeters. Don't forget your units, your concluding statements, and most importantly, your let statements. Because then, once you've got your let statements, it's really easy to answer the question, right? You look, x is 34, that's the width is 34, and the length is 8.5. Then you can just quickly check it, so you know that 34 times, so you know the perimeter is 2 length plus 2 widths, so you know 34 times 2 is 68, 8.5 times 2 is 17, and 68 plus 17 is 85. So it works. Hope that helps, nines.